Hello, everybody. I
Hi.
know this is a weird day, way farther back in the week, but this is technically our January discussion for the Tales of Starlight book club. And this past month and a half,
Right.
we read House of Beating Wings by Olivia Wildenstein.
Yeah. Yes, that.
Uh, a little bit about it is our main character Fallon is told like a prophecy that if she finds the crows and frees them that she will become queen, and that's kind of the preface for a lot of things to come. And she has a bunch of different interesting quirks about her that we find out along the way, and some secrets that her family has been keeping from her along the way. And yeah, so let us know if you're here. Leave a crow or a book emoji if you read the book. Otherwise, there will be spoilers. So, I mean, if you want to hear them, you can stay. If you don't
Right.
want to get spoiled, probably should leave. But yeah, I mean, this is a big book, but the chapters
Mhm.
are pretty short. Um, it did read pretty quick. I
Yeah.
only listened to it. Also, the graphic audio came out. That was another reason we pushed back the date, was because the graphic audio came out. So, if you're here, also let us know how you read this. I love that I physically bought the book and I didn't. I read the uh, prologue
Yeah.
and then I listened to the rest. But I only listened to the regular audiobook.
Mhm. Yeah, I listened to the regular audiobook and then I read it on my Kindle. Um, I tandemed with the audio and my Kindle. Um, so yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I finished this before our original time, so it's been a week and a day.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I remember very little now because that's how my brain works. I can like remember big things, but there's
Yeah.
like a lot did happen towards the end.
Yeah.
And I don't know for sure if I remember everything, but I'm
Yeah.
sure us chatting will bring it up and make it worth
Yeah.
remembering some of those crazy things.
Yeah.
Hi, Tina. And I think, Tina, that you read the graphic audio, which I think that would be really good.
Yeah.
There was a male narrator at the end.
Yep.
Um, but a graphic audio probably would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I'll buy it. I haven't checked on my Hoopla or anything to see if they have it yet, but
Yeah,
I
with the changing of characters and stuff, that would have helped.
there were just like there was a lot of dialogue, and
Yeah.
sometimes just listening to her saying stuff, I would get confused on who was
Who was
actually talking,
talking?
especially because I wasn't tandem reading it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so the next question is I like to know right off the get-go what everybody rated it and what your like just general thoughts are on it. April, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
I'm curious
So
what you rated it.
yeah, I didn't. I actually like struggled with rating it. I actually don't even think I put my rating on Fable yet,
Mhm.
but I think I'm landing at a 3 star. Um,
Wow.
I know, I know. Sorry, I gotta put it in. Yeah, I think I'm at a 3 star. I was gonna go 3.5, but I really haven't thought about it much since I finished it. So that kind of solidifies what I think about it. It's solidified my stars. And
Mhm.
and I could round up to the half. Like I could go there because I do remember things. Like Sam, you showed a drawing on the front of on
Yeah.
the front of your cover. Yeah. And I was like,
That
"Oh
even
yeah."
I was like I read the whole book and I was like, this doesn't make sense. And she's like,
I was like, "Oh
yeah, when he
yeah."
massages her and everything, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So obviously I remember some things, but yeah, I'm landing at a 3. So,
Okay. Well, that's funny because normally you rate higher than me. I'm at a 3 stars too. I could see it like 3.5,
yeah.
but there's some things like in the beginning I'm like, ooh, I'm really enjoying this. And then like a quarter of the way through, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
something changed. And it did, but the characters weren't quite my favorite. I
Yeah.
loved like the magic system. I loved the world building. I loved the whole essence of everything but the characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The world felt like Once Upon a Time-ish. It felt like pirates. It was great. But
yeah, it was complex, but not like super confusing. Like there were
yeah.
questions, but not like what am I reading type
Yeah.
questions. Like, oh, I can't wait to find how like the pieces go together.
Yeah.
And yeah, it seemed really magical
Mhm.
and just beautiful. And then it was very character based. And it was very much on her maidenhood for
Right. Right.
so long.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, next topic,
Yeah.
please. Which I also want to point out, for some reason, when I was like, so I bought this book at Barnes and Noble just by pure looks and like reading the back, and I was like, oh, I am just a vibes person. And then when I was doing research on it to like kind of give everybody a tidbit on the book, I could have swore I saw that like this was a young adult, which I'm like, I bought it in the adult fantasy, but I thought like, oh, maybe that wasn't going to be like as many spicy parts. It didn't say it was spicy or anything. And then reading it, I was like,
Hello.
I've been deceived, which I don't mind spicy books, but that kind of took me by surprise at how spicy some of the parts were, and then
Yeah.
how focused on innuendos and different type stuff that this book was, that I was like, it's young adult like with maturity.
Yeah. Right.
But it was like definitely adult still, so it really kind of threw me off.
Yeah. That's funny.
I listened to the graphic audio and follow along with my Kindle.
Okay.
I liked the graphic audio. It was on my Hoopla. Oh,
Ooh.
okay, that is good to know. I think a 3.5. I think that's a fair,
Yeah.
super fair
Totally.
read.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I can't remember if I rounded it up or down on
Yeah.
Goodreads. Yeah, and like that's where I'm like, I could see it going up,
Yeah.
but also the characters really.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, enjoyed the story. Hated the characters. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and that's so rare for me.
Yeah.
I normally, even if like a main character has like quirks and is naive and really kind of like blind to stuff, I'm like, well, yeah, if I was in their shoes, I'd probably be that way too. But holy moly, there were times that I was getting fed up with
Yeah.
Fallon.
Yeah.
There were scenes I hated so much, but I didn't want to DNF.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were just parts that felt icky that I really just were not a fan of, and then it felt like we could not move on, and I
Right.
was so ready to just move on,
Yes.
but obviously could not DNF because I was going to force myself to read it. But also, I'm like, what is going to happen? Like, come on, like
Right.
we
Right.
all know this is not going to end with this. Like,
Right.
so yeah, it was kind of like you had to keep reading,
Yeah.
which to a point is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Kept us on the hook, I guess.
Sorry, my husband decided to.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
He did not read the book,
What book?
The House of Beating Wings.
Oh yeah, no, I did not.
Womp womp.
Okay.
It's pretty though.
It is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, okay, bye. Do you want to build a snowman? We don't have any snow anymore. Thank goodness. Sorry, that was so random.
Funny.
Okay, so moving on from there, like what did you think of the magic system? I really liked it. I liked that she had to go. That was like my favorite. When she finally started looking for the crows, I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, adventure,
Yes.
new people, anything but keeping her in with these toxic people and these awful, awful characters. But the magic, when the first scene where she like falls into I don't know, I'm gonna call it a river. It's not the river,
Yeah.
the canal, and like the mermaid, what was it? I don't remember the exact.
The serpent.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was the water creature.
The pink water creature.
When like all of that happened, I was like, this is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they're like, oh, she can manipulate them when she should be, shredded to pieces and all of that. I was so excited. And
Yeah.
then just her with the animals and creatures. Yeah, I was like Snow White,
Right.
Cinderella. Like I am loving these vibes of her being able to talk to the creatures. And then there were like times that it didn't really make sense. Like she would be like, "Well, I'm not understanding why like this is happening." And I'm like, "How can you be obsessed with animals and like be attracted to creatures, but you don't watch their behavior?"
Yeah.
I graduated from animal science. Like
All right.
I grew up from a young child like watching the behavior of animals and how they do things. And there were times that like Fallon didn't do that. So I'm like that doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to me.
Yeah.
But also like I loved the whole crow thing.
Mm-hmm.
I literally this winter we've had so many crows around here and my goal is I really want to like befriend a crow. And then so when she had a crow that she's supposed to go, I'm like, this is amazing.
That's funny.
And I just like I like the whole lore of that and how that's all connected lore, which is also Margot.
Yeah.
His name is also lore.
Yeah.
There was a lot of names in this book
Mhm.
was also very hard just listening and
Yeah.
remembering all the characters. Normally I take notes and I didn't do that and I'm like, of course, this is a harder time to do it, but
Yeah.
I loved all that. I thought it was kind of suspicious how easily she found the crows.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, maybe there's some type of magic that was calling to her that made it so simple.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I definitely found that super interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cool. I liked the magic system and like, I mean, yeah.
I loved the salt, like
Oh yeah, for
that whole. I love when like Faye can't lie, like.
Yes.
Except I had a problem with Fallon. Literally, you grew up with Faye and you know that they can't lie, but you also know they word their things very particularly. So why are you
Right.
being so blind when
Right.
people are telling you certain things?
Yes.
And it's like,
Yeah.
think. But I thought it was so cool that like she would take salt, but she could lie. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that she had the past that she could lie. And I don't know, like all that, I was all about it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was really cool. So.
And I'm trying, and just like all the creatures and like her going to the different kingdoms and like seeing how like everything was, and I don't know, I loved that.
Yeah.
Um,
And I like that she was magicless, but yet still had magic elements in her. You know, like it wasn't just she wasn't a clumsy, worthless type of, I don't know what I'm doing type girl.
but she also wasn't like all powerful, like the
Right,
most
exactly.
powerful. Like she
Right.
was like a nice in between. Like, and
In between.
obviously she's
Yep.
some type of prophecy
Exactly.
that she thinks some random person was just like, oh yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, right.
Easy peasy. And not like, oh, that's kind of crazy that someone just came up to me and wanted to do
Right.
it. And
Yeah.
Dante, I can't wait.
Right, exactly.
That kind of that kind of goes on to the next question. Like, what did you think of Fallon as
Oh
a
my
main
gosh.
character? I normally don't dislike main characters, especially when you get like their point of view.
Yeah.
I had such a hard time with her.
Yeah.
She was naive. She was arrogant. She was just blatantly dumb.
Yeah. I
Sorry.
think I yelled at her more than I've yelled at a character in a book. Like, all right.
And especially with the men, it was like, why?
Right.
But I like, to a certain extent, I could understand. I remember being like a young, naive girl, and when guys give you attention, like it feels
Yeah.
nice. You're like, oh, okay. But then she would put herself in situations, and I'm like, again,
Yeah. Right.
again,
Yeah.
again.
Right. And I think it was Yvette in the Discord said at one point, she was like, girl, the prophecy said that you would be queen. Not that you are going to be with Dante, therefore you're going to be queen because you get with him. Like, no, you are going to be queen.
Exactly. And that's where I'm like, you've been with Faye your whole
Right.
life. How do
Yeah.
you not understand that the what
Exactly.
is said is so specific?
Yeah.
I was getting so mad.
Oh my gosh.
I did appreciate that she knew what she wanted.
Yes. Absolutely.
And she knew her worth. She knew her job.
Yeah.
She did not treat people poorly because of what their jobs were. I
Yeah.
did appreciate that. Like,
Yeah.
and she stood up for herself, even
Yep.
though sometimes I'm like, just stop talking.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a question, but I was going through my highlights before we went live, and my favorite, the only like favorite quote that I highlighted from her was when she was talking to Dante and he was like, Foul, stop. You're acting unlike yourself. And she's thinking in her mind, except I'm not. I'm speaking my mind and my heart. And she says to him, I'm sorry you prefer the doormat version of me the best. And I was like,
Mhm.
there you go. There you go.
And she was so good with that at like
Yeah.
certain times. And with Lore, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I
Yeah.
was like, you're so mean to him.
So mean. I'm like, come on.
And meanwhile, to Anthony and Dante, she's like, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Right. Okay, I'll do whatever you want.
Dante can cheat on me and lie to me and do all this stuff, but okay.
Right.
Oh, she made me so mad. But she was growing on me towards the end because I'm like, no, she really sticks her ground,
Yeah.
even though, and like, she picks her path.
Yes.
It's not the right path, but she picks her path.
Did she fix it?
But it was so hard. It's funny because I'd never heard of this book, so I'm surprised I had a graphic audiobook. I picked it out, and then I think I saw, well, because I had a special edition too, so I'm like, oh, that's normally like a little bit bigger books or
Yeah.
well-known books, but I'm like, yeah, I haven't seen anybody talk about it. And then when I think you brought up, Tina, that the graphic audio was coming out, I'm like, oh, because yeah, normally it's like super like Throne of Glass doesn't even have a graphic audio.
Yeah.
I think they're just now coming out with one, but they don't even have one. So, but I don't know if it's also just resources of the author being able to pay for it, but or like this series is almost, it's either done or almost done,
Yeah.
because I think there's 4 or 5 books.
Yeah.
And I still don't know if it has to do with something like that. I mean, Fourth Wing and all that definitely isn't done yet, and they have graphic audios, but
Right.
yeah, that is super surprising.
Yeah.
I loved Margot. How do you say his name again? Margot or Margot?
I think it was I can't remember. I think
Sorry.
it was Margot. I don't know. I forgot. Yes.
I just liked everyone except for him. Yeah.
I liked her friend, who had one of the crows in his vault.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him too. I can't remember his name. I think it started with an S.
See, I normally write down all the characters and I didn't. And then this one had so many characters.
Yeah.
And then some of them would come back again and I'm like, dang it.
There he is again. He was funny.
But yeah, this one definitely had like, so many characters. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
She drove me crazy. Things seemed so obvious, but she couldn't see it. And like, I get if you're in her shoes, but also once you meet Lore and like you have a crow and like all this like, and then you're meeting what was the Oracle lady again? Bronwyn?
Bronwyn, yeah.
When you like meet her and then you see Antony is with her.
Right.
Don't you
Hello.
think that maybe this is something bigger than you getting with Dante?
Right? Oh my God.
Maybe this is something a little bit deeper.
Right. Don't you think?
Sorry, I didn't take a drink because it's welling me up.
It's funny.
She was definitely a flawed main character, which
Yeah.
I feel like we don't necessarily see a lot.
Yeah.
While there are some like naive and like clueless main characters or a little bit like rough around the edges, I feel like we always love them.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I can genuinely say she is not my favorite.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know. And like I wanted like I love banter, but sometimes like her banter just didn't come off the way I hoped it to.
Yeah.
It came off like rude and like childish versus like flirty and fun.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when she gave it all up to Dante in a tent so easily, I was so angry.
Yeah. I was so dumb.
And then it was so detailed, and I'm like, ick.
Yeah.
Ick,
Stop.
not him. Please stop.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this isn't really like a question, but it's like it has to be talked about. If you had to pick between Dante and Antony, how single would you be?
That's funny.
Well, because I was like, at first I was like, who would you pick? And I'm like, no one's gonna pick either.
I would have Antony to hang out with on the weekends.
Well, and it sounded like him
Dante could go jump in the river. And
like the other girl might have a thing.
right.
I have to say though, I am so happy that lore came into play.
Yeah.
Because when we had Antony, I'm like, better, but not great. Like there was just something about him that I'm like, he's not pressuring her as much as Dante, but he's still not the greatest.
Right.
And I do kind of like that they had a bit of a falling out.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed more realistic. And then he was kind of like, her. Right. In which he was also probably like,
hello.
This girl. This is the one saving. Which that is like a fun like point. Like so many times they're like, this is the girl that's gonna save us, and it's like actually she's very capable. And in this case, I think we can all agree that we're like Fallon.
Right.
Fallon. She's the one that's supposed to find the crows and save them all. Okay. But yeah, Dante's awful. Mm-hmm. Awful.
Yeah.
There were times where I'm like, I can't tell if he's trying to redeem himself or he's just a lying faced liar.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He gave me the ick from the beginning.
Yeah.
You pronounce the T in Margot.
Okay.
Morgot.
Okay,
thank you. My brain is really bad with like stuff like that. And even though I listened to the whole book and had someone tell it to me, I no longer remember. At least that's how they say it in the audio. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with reading is like so much of it's subjective too.
Yeah.
That's why people can't say wyvern. They say instead of wyvern. They say wyvern because all it takes is one audiobook saying it incorrectly and people but that's okay. We all know what we're talking about, you know?
Well, that's like Rysand. Reading
that
was Rysand.
That ruined my life. That's when I started listening to audiobooks was because of that. And they're like, oh, come here, Rice. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, wait, no. I guarantee they're calling him Reese. And I'm like, it's Rysand? Ruined my life. So that's why I'm like, audiobooks. But apparently my brain still can't remember certain names. Well, and like, he had multiple names. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why I call him Lore, because I remember that.
Yeah, right.
I hated that scene. Yes.
Yeah.
Single. I loved that it was set up like a love triangle, which
Right.
are not my favorite, but I loved that it like led to that, and then it's like, ha ha ha,
Just
they're not
kidding.
options.
That's not.
We're,
No.
we're moving on from there, and I
Mhm.
did like that take. That's what
Mhm.
made it a little bit different
Yeah.
than like your typical book. But Antony, can't remember how we spelled his name, was better, but still,
Yeah.
and like in just like the slightest way, because sometimes I feel like if he had the power of Dante, that he probably would also not
The
be
same
that
way.
great.
Right. Yeah.
I knew there had to be someone else since her two choices were not good.
Right.
It was so much of the book though that I was getting thoroughly scared. Thoroughly scared. And then I kind of like that it's like a slow burn with
Mhm.
lore, because she's definitely not biting onto that. I mean, she kind of is like, oh, he's not
Right.
that bad. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be so much better.
Yeah.
And that's where it's kind of frustrating because I'm like, I bet the second book is better.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because you're getting rid of a lot of the like that
The
awful like
terrible characters. Yeah.
in the beginning where they're all fighting, and there probably is going to be like more building on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had like a favorite quote or scene, I really loved, oh, the one thing I forgot, I loved the language of this
Mhm.
book. Even though I have a hard time pronouncing anything, that was the one thing I really recommend, like the audiobook for this. But I didn't know if your like the Kindle edition had glossaries. So they had the Lucen glossary and the Crow glossary, and they have pronunciations of everything.
That's
But I also loved. I would have not been able to read this because in my brain I would have been like, ah, blah 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 blah, like
yeah.
blah 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 blah, like the Peanuts parents.
Exactly.
But hearing the audio and him pronouncing it, like Laura saying all this stuff and like
Oh, yeah.
calling her nicknames in like Little Bird in a different language.
Yeah.
Loved that.
Yeah.
Loved that.
Yeah.
And it just felt so much more complex in that aspect.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, because there's like the sky awaits you, my crows, you are mine.
Mm-hmm.
Tina actually put in the Discord the same quote that I absolutely loved. Did I save it? It was the one where she I should have had that pulled up right away. Oh, right here. Insults may roll off our round ears, but
Yeah.
they also trickle inside and around our other parts of us. I will not be rounded.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Like, I felt like Fallon really stuck to her guns.
Mhm.
And even though she was thoroughly wrong, she was like, no, that's what I want. This is how I'm doing it. I'm not doing anything else.
Yep.
And I mean, you got to give the girl some credit.
Yeah.
I also really did enjoy like the second half of the book, especially when she was going on the adventures with
Yes.
Lore and they were having their little time. I liked the scenes with her. What was the horse's name? Was it Fury?
I think so.
I don't remember. But her and the horse, I thought like was really kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked that Fury. Hey, I just saw it. I also wonder how much more I would remember if I would have been able to tandem read this.
Yeah.
And take notes. It really does help my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And her with the creatures, and her interacting, I loved that. I want to know more about that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I liked on their adventures. I can't remember the exact scene, but there was like trees and all the things, and her and Lore and the horse were out in, I don't know where they were, but anyways, in my brain they're out in the forest, and that was really cool. It was like the night before Dante was coming to try to find her, and that whole like not cat and mouse, not quite cat and mouse, but that whole chase of
Yeah.
like running from them and staying ahead of them and them catching up and all the things, and then them going to the city and then him showing up and being like, you know, and that whole thing. So that was really cool. Like, I felt like a lot of progress was going, and I was like, okay, it's picking up. There we go.
Yes. Yeah, and I really liked how, you know, we're seeing these type of creatures are not accepted. These ones are feared.
Yeah.
These ones, and then we find out like the crows have been completely abolished, and like finding out about that is I want to know more. Like I'm
Yeah.
really excited to learn more.
Yeah.
Um what is one thing you wish you could change about this book?
Fallon.
Yeah.
No. I mean, obviously you need her, but like her writing on the fact that Dante was her end game. Like,
Mhm.
why do you think that he was the reason you would be queen? Like, I get it for the royalty thing, but like you were saying, like prophecies don't work that way. It's literally like you are going to be queen. So
I know, and
something's gonna happen.
instead of like it being like a prophecy to her, it was like someone gave her a mantra and she's like,
Oh,
yep,
I
that's
got
my
the
new
very
mantra,
docket.
and that's what I'm gonna do. Instead of being like, no, this is like an actual, like, you're
Right.
telling me the blind lady that you're finding out later that didn't used to be blind and is tied to all this stuff,
Yes.
like you're not putting the pieces together, that you're trying to break a curse, and
Right.
oh
Oh my
goodness.
gosh.
But
So
I mean, I
yeah.
guess if you don't know, you don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My thing I think I would change is like I just like the first quarter of this book was so much about her maidenhood,
Yeah.
like an over emphasis, obnoxious, disgusting, vile, and I think with the whole Epstein files and stuff, like I'm just like I was just disgusted
Yeah.
listening to it, and then she just threw it away right
Right.
away, and I'm like, what was the point of all of
Right.
this? Like this, what did this add? We did not need this to be so long
Yeah.
right now. Like this could have been
Yeah.
way shortened and we would have gotten the point.
Yes.
I would have edited that way out because I just, as much as like Fallon is flawed and all of that, as like that just felt so, it
Yeah.
was an ick for too long. Like
Yes. It didn't have to be that.
it was so obsessed
Yeah.
for so long. I was like, if I hear one more thing about maidenhood and losing her
Bro.
maidenhood, I'm gonna
Yes.
flip. I was so done.
Oh my gosh.
It was a bit much, and that's where I'm like, I don't. That's where I was like, this is like hitting the line of like really reading immature, but also being
Yeah.
too mature, and I
Right.
just don't like how much it's like blurring the lines, but
Yeah.
also overemphasizing it. It does bring up like acknowledgement about how that can be blurred and how much emphasis there is put, but also like this was
Yeah.
a long part of the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would take out the scene with her and Dante. I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, like take it out or just don't make it as detailed.
Yeah. Right.
It just yes, it was ick.
Like you could have done something else to make us hate him. Like you
Yeah,
could have just highlighted on the cheating. You could have highlighted on all that, you didn't have to go into such detail.
I felt like he forced himself on her and she didn't even understand what was happening until it was over and he rushed and put his clothes back on. I hated that so bad. Me
It was awful.
too.
Yeah.
Me too. And especially since they put so much emphasis, I mean, 4 chapters leading
Right.
up to it, and for it to happen that way, that's I think I was like, no. And it's
Right.
super sad. And like that's where I'm like, this has to be a tipping point.
Yeah.
This something has to change now. Like I'm hoping in the future, like that is a catalyst of something
Yeah.
because so far it's not. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I really need that to because that felt like such a huge part. It made
Yeah.
me physically feel ill
Yeah.
that it has to be some bigger meaning down the road. Like, it
Yeah.
has to. Otherwise, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Because it's heartbreaking and just awful.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if the author got the fact that it was horrible or if she meant it to read that
Right.
way. Well,
Yeah.
and we don't know either. Maybe she had like a personal experience or someone
Right.
she cared about with a personal experience and she wanted to emphasize on
Like, that's not okay.
how big of a deal it is and
Yeah.
how easily it can just be taken away by someone that has ill intentions.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the point she was trying to get across, but I felt so sick. I wanted to comfort Fallon. I wanted to punch Dante in the face and kick him down low. And
Yep.
I was
Yeah.
so mad. And so, yeah, I don't know if she was trying to make that point, but it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard to read. I'm obviously still very angry about it. But if that was her point, she made it. And like,
Yeah.
she did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so hard to know the intent but it stuck with us all.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
necessarily a good way, but that could be the point.
Yeah.
Not my favorite point, but it's something that us girls have to go through a lot and just not my favorite. And
No.
makes me so sad for Fallon, which I'm like and then she doesn't get any more wins. I mean, she
Right.
gets more wins, but I'm like, ugh.
But
Gosh dang, this girl is just like losing everything.
yeah.
So I don't have like a ton of like specific questions. We're kind of rolling through these pretty quick. But like, do you think that you would continue with this series? What do you think is gonna happen in the future? It's gonna bug me. I don't remember how many books are in the series. The Kingdom of Crows. I kind of like that it's like turning out to be a slow burn.
Yeah.
Because instantly when they came out with, well, first when like Dante was the love of her life, I'm like, that's not gonna last.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And then, but Antony came in right after, and I'm like, already? And so I kind of liked that with lore, it's all gonna take a little bit longer. It's a 5-book fantasy romance series. Yeah.
I would, from what I think I would eventually pick up book 2 just to see if there was a resolve and see how Lore and Fallon, actually if they get together in book 2. Like, I don't know. And to see a little bit more of, because she's just coming into all of her powers or whatever, and it's like she's finding out more about herself. So I would probably pick up book 2. Would I pick it up in 2026? I don't know.
I know. That's like,
I have way more better reads that are on my list.
And I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
Because it's like that one thing. It's like, how does this end? How did these pieces fit together? And because like that was my favorite part of this book is the world building and the plot. And so like to me, I'm like, yes. But the other part of me is like, I don't know if I can deal with these annoying characters.
If Dante dies at the beginning of the book, that'd be great.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like that's gonna be a long haul. Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about Fallon's dad and how awful that was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which that whole part of like seeing her be born so multiple times, and I'm like, no, that's not gonna be true. We're gonna find out some other stuff, and like I don't remember exactly how it all played out, but yeah, like we essentially find out that she's not who we thought she was this whole time.
Right.
Shocker.
Yeah. I'm confused with that whole storyline. Like, I didn't really grasp it. It was just like, what? She was a swapped baby. Wait, what? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's part like I would have to reread before I got into the next book, but I also agree. I have so many books I want to read that are high on my list, but I do think this will be one that like will nag me until I
Nagging in the back.
eventually, yeah, like how does that turn out?
Right, exactly.
Um, it was awful. I would have rather her not give it up, and I think the story would have been just fine. Yeah. Yeah. Good points. I mean, I can understand when an author would try to do that if that was her point. Yeah, like you said, I think the story would have been a-okay without it.
Yeah.
Or we could have tied it in a different way. And
Right.
I don't know. It was just really, it was too close to like on the lines of like SA for me.
Yes. Yep.
And especially with how much they emphasized it, to me, I was like, this is detrimental. Fallon is handling this quite well.
Yeah.
Especially finding out like that he's cheating on her and like all this. I'm like,
Yeah.
honestly, I guess maybe she's doing just fine.
Right.
Maybe this is how she's coping with
Right.
utter denial and sure like stubbornness and
Uh-huh.
but it was rough. I don't plan on continuing. I did read the novella that comes right after this, and the spicy scenes were so icky that I just have a feeling I won't like the rest of the series. And that's what shocked me.
Mhm.
Like, the spice came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was spicy. And I mean, I know not everybody rates stuff on Fable, but normally you can tell if a book is spicy.
Yeah.
And this didn't say anything about spicy, and I'm like,
Hello?
yeah, we did. No one checked that off, and that's fine. But it just didn't. I don't know. I like spicy scenes when I like the characters. I don't like spicy scenes when I don't like the characters, or if it doesn't really add to it. If you're putting spice in just for spice,
Yeah.
that's fine. But to me, that's not so much like romantic-y. That's more. I like. When I think of like dark romance, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be like lots of spice. And when
Yeah.
I think of romantasy, I think of some spice that but it was part of the story.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a mid genre where it's like more
Yeah.
romance than fantasy.
Right.
It's just yeah. I like spice in books if it's done right.
Yeah.
And with icky
And
guys,
handled right.
like,
Yeah.
just leave right after. It's not about it.
No. No.
It's like, please stop. Like,
Yeah.
how can I skip just for a little bit?
Right. Yeah.
But this is one of those books though that I'm like, I really am curious how this all plays out.
Right.
And like, I do think I would eventually read it and I could be mad, like, wow, I read that whole series. It was not my favorite. But now I know, and I can like, stop thinking. It's that weird. It's that weird that you just have that weird itch that like I have to scratch sometimes. But I say that, and I still haven't finished Spark of the Everflame.
Right.
The Trial of the Sun. What was it?
Yeah.
Trial of the Sun Queen.
Sun Queen.
There's still so many series.
This Woven Kingdom. Like I thought about that the other day. I was like, ooh.
There are so many books that
Throne of Glass. I haven't even made it past, I need to start Queen of Shadows.
I'm almost done with the tandem read.
Nice.
So yeah, like that's where I'm like, this is just not.
Yeah.
It's not high up on my list, unfortunately.
Nope.
Which I feel like if the characters were just slightly different, I would have been obsessed with this book. And that's where I'm like, character growth in the next book. And what if there's character growth in the next book?
Right.
I think it also shocked me too because the ratings were pretty high on this. Which I normally agree most of the time. And this one I felt like most of us agreed that it's like a 3.5.
Yeah.
And I think it was rated like a 4 or almost a 4. But I'm like, that's pretty high. But it just might not have a ton of people who have read it yet.
Yeah.
I binged the Trial of the Sun Queen series. I really liked it. See, in the first one I liked, but not enough to continue right away. And now I literally don't remember any of
I remember I finished book 1 and actually went ahead and got book 2 and had to read the first like 3 chapters because I had to know like what happened. And then after that, I was like, okay. And then I moved on. So I want to go back and I want to finish that series.
Yeah, that's one, and that one is all on my Hoopla.
Oh,
So I
really?
need to
That's cool.
just I'm so bad about like just reading a whole series. I
Mhm.
like to have like palette cleansers in between books, but then I get derailed with all these other books and it's hard for
Yeah.
me to continue. And I think I just need to change that in my brain
Yeah.
and just continue.
Yeah.
I also loved all the books in Spark of the Everflame, the ones that are currently out. I know I think that's a reason I haven't because I read the book one in like 2 days and it was 5 stars.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it, and people said it just gets better. But knowing that the 4th book isn't out and it's a questionable date, I'm like, I got time. I don't need to rush. I don't
Yeah.
need to rush. I think that's a big reason I haven't picked it up though, even though I still think about that book a
Yeah.
lot.
Mhm.
I read up through book 3 and Book of Azrael and want to
Ooh.
continue. Yeah, that's another one.
That's
It was
another one.
so good.
That one was great. Oh yeah.
And this is where I'm like, I'm gonna have to reread that book before I
Yes.
can.
Me too. And the Wings on Wings of Blood, like I think book
Yes.
3 comes out this year. So I want to read that.
And then I have, even though Fear the Flames wasn't my
Oh yeah.
favorite, but I still have that one.
Right.
Yeah, and there's yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
There's so many.
So
There's
many
so
books.
many others
I
besides
know.
this.
I know.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to like do something different. And I'm like,
Yes.
well, maybe this is why people aren't talking about this
Yeah.
book. And it's not awful. It's just
No.
not, there's so many great books.
Yes.
But I don't know. Part of me is like, book 2 is gonna be better.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Tryla Sun Queen books just get better in
Ooh.
my opinion. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling myself with this. Like, all I can think is there has to be character development. And if
Mhm.
there is, then that has potential to be great. But this
Yep.
one is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I hate that about book 4 of Everflame. Well, when right after we finished Spark of the Everflame, a couple of my friends had an actual interview with Penn Cole, and I watched it and I was like, okay, if they talk about anything later in the series, I'll get off. I won't, but I remember her being super adamant about like, please do not bring up book 4. Like, I don't want to talk about it. And
Wow.
that's like a huge thing is like, she's over, it's kind of like with Rebecca Yarros. And it's like,
Yeah.
stop asking me for my mental health. I cannot
Yes.
do this.
Yep.
And so like, I know how many people have been waiting for that book. And that's why I'm like, I have time.
Right.
We have time. As long as I can avoid spoilers, I'm fine. And
Yep.
I've avoided spoilers for Throne of Glass for like 3 years. So
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, maybe it's possible.
Yeah.
But I know it's so hard. I mean, it's so hard not knowing when the 4th Empyrean book is going to come out.
Right. Yeah.
When the 6th ACOTAR book is
Oh my
coming
gosh.
out. There's
Yeah.
so many books and I'm like, look at all these other series we have, guys.
Mhm.
We'll be fine.
Yep.
I still want them, but
Yeah.
okay. What books, movies, or shows would you recommend that would be similar to this one?
I don't know about recommend, but the only thing that I like that I've wanted to read because of this is I do not know about anything about the series is Six of Crows, and probably only because it has a crow in the title. And I'm like, I kind of want more crow books.
That's like when like literally the crows and her talking to the creatures and all that. I was like, this is my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially the crows. And literally when I was listening to this, I was walking on the treadmill at the gym and then like a whole murder of crows came.
That's funny.
And I'm like, my baby's coming here. Like I was like, and I can't remember. It was like 6 of them or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's almost like in the book where you have
Right.
like 5 crows.
All merged. That's so funny.
I've always found crows so I guess like if you like the crow theme, nothing really else. Wayward
Oh. Mm-hmm.
has a crow in it. I really liked that book. Also, but please check triggers because that has some triggers in it. But that is a great book that I absolutely adored. I gave it 4 stars, but I honestly think about it all the time. So like now I think I would even like give it 4.5, 5.
That's cool.
Because I read it a year and a half ago, if not longer, and I still think about that book. Honestly, when Fallon was like dating and like I don't know, when they're just like all the scenes in like the bar in the beginning and all that, I was like, this just makes me think of like every reality dating TV show ever.
Oh yeah.
Like, I just also the fact that it was a bar slash brothel, I was like, again, with the brothels in the books we picked.
Right. Lordy. Yeah.
Like, it's more rare to not have a brothel. We didn't have a brothel like scene, I guess, technically,
right,
in one of these books, but I was like, why are there so many brothels?
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, and like kind of the one girl that was really mean that they fought with all the time, like I feel like she's gonna have to like play a bigger character into something too.
Yeah, she reminded me of Cressida in Bridgerton.
Yes.
That's exactly who I picture her to be. Like
she also, I guess, like she was giving me Lysandra vibes in Throne of Glass too. But yeah, that's
funny.
She's not nice.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Are there any last words, comments, random things you want to chat about for this book? I know there were like a bunch of random stuff and I didn't write anything down because I just literally didn't have time. And I'm sure they'll come to me at 3 a.m. one of these nights and I'll be like, remember that? And I'll just put it in Discord. But if there's anything else you guys want to like chat about real quick before we announce what our next book will be, have at it. Yeah, see, like in the book, some of the things are bolded and the like, I don't know, the different languages, all of that. I really is it bolded when he was like talking into her mind and stuff?
On my Kindle it was italicized. When he was talking to her.
I did love his little name for her though.
Yes.
That was I'm a big fan of nicknames.
Reminded me of Belladonna, Little Bird.
Yes. Little Bird is a really like common one, but that's why I liked that it was in another language.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do like Little Bird or Little Mouse or like, you know, but at the same time, it's the same thing, but it's said differently.
Yeah. And she's descendant of the crows or whatever, and she maybe possibly could be a crow. And he knows.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us for that. And for the month of, this was January's pick.
Right.
We're discussing it mid-February.
Sorry.
And then for March, we decided since in April, the second book in the series is coming out, even though a lot of you might have already read it, we thought it would just be a good time for like refreshers. And April and I have not read this book yet, so it's perfect time for us to jump in on all the hype. So our March book, which we'll probably discuss. Oh man, when do you think we'll discuss this? Like April 6th?
Yeah, probably.
And the book comes out April 7th. The second book comes out April 7th. So that would be kind of perfect. April and I've had a really crazy beginning of the year, so we're a bit behind. And
yeah.
Do you think? Because it's the Monday after Easter.
After Easter, yeah. I would think that, man, the day before release would be incredible.
Wouldn't that be perfect?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I'm pretty sure I already have the second book pre-ordered, even though I haven't even read the first one.
That's awesome. That's so great.
I mean, it comes out April 7th.
Oh my god.
So if you don't know by any of that, we will be reading Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry in March. If you're still here, if you've read it, let us know if you read it. I'm really excited. I've heard so many good things, and the second book comes out. We'll be discussing this the day before the second book comes out, so I think that'll be perfect time, even if you read it, to reread it, get back hyped. Yeah, because Rights of Starling comes out April 7th. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I hope you guys are so excited. Yay.
Awesome, yay.
I have not read it yet.
Cool.
That's what I know a lot of people have read it, but I'm like, I think a lot of our Tales of Starlight group haven't yet. We just so many books. But I have it, so super excited. Yay. April saved my child from the jaws of a wild bear, took the thing out.
Oh, Sam was there. She can... I think this is my brother Josh.
Okay.
Sam was there. She can confirm. Yes, I am all strong and
I mean, I believe that. I would totally vouch for April.
Your child anytime from a bear. It is totally, yes.
I love you both.
So great.
That's hilarious.
Too
but
funny.
Yay, I'm so excited. I will try to get all of the info up as soon as possible. Life has finally calmed down for a week before I'm on vacation, so I'm going to try to get it all up and all the details and all of that figured out before I am gone. But I'm so excited. And
I know. It's so pretty. Look at the inside too.
I was a lucky one.
Yes.
I actually have a signed one.
It's so cool.
It was at my Walmart. Guys, I live in the middle of nowhere in small town Michigan. Crazy. It was at my Walmart. I was like, shut up. I just bought this book. I'm going to buy another copy just so I can I need to take the sticker off, but so thank you guys so much for joining. This was so much fun. I love it that we all had the same feelings. And if you did love this book and you're watching this later, totally if you loved it, you're valid. You're completely have every right to. Yeah. There were parts that I absolutely enjoyed about this. Yeah. There are just some things I hope start changing throughout the series.
Yeah.
Yes, my Walmart had them too. I had to so cool. I don't know how many books she signed, but I am so grateful that she did. And yeah, I am so excited. So we will see you in March.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.